Okay, good evening everyone, and welcome to another card of the day with myself, Lady Moonlight. It's been a little while since I did the card of the day. We've had busy events leading up to Samhain, so it's just been a crazy time, so I've kind of taken a couple of days offline. However, being your own boss, you can do that. But I am back with my card of the days. I'm also back with all my Avira stuff as well. So it's good to be back, but it's also nice sometimes for us to have a break as well. So it all helps. And of course we've got Noisy Rocky in the background, which I'm just going to quieten the birds. Give me 2 seconds till I come back. Okay, what is it they say? Never work with children and animals. However, I am back. I'm going to use my Old Faithful deck just because I do like the messages in the Old Faithful deck. They have been with me like forever. And I always find that the messages in these cards are absolutely spot on all the time. They've never let me down, which is why I won't get rid of them. They are a little bit old and a little bit kind of shabby looking, but you know what? Sometimes the old shabby looking ones and the Old Faithful ones are the best. However, all the cards that I use usually work, but I do like when Spirit advised me to use my Old Faithfuls. So I'm just going to shuffle these cards. I'm not sure if the comments are working or not, but if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay, let me know where you're watching from. If you're not watching on the replay, then and you decide to catch me live, come along, say hi. It'd be good to see you. Okay, let's just give these a little shuffle and see where we go with these. I have had, I was planning on coming live yesterday. We had a few technical issues with my tablet. Witches and electronics just do not go hand in hand sometimes. Sometimes they play ball, and then other times they have other plans kind of for us. Okay, so let's just shuffle these and see what the card of the day has for us. Okay, so we have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords often means problems and troubles, and also it reminds us not just to take care of ourselves, but to take care of others as well. Be responsible for your own deeds, as it were. You know, we can throw daggers at people. We can be mean to somebody. We can be, you know, bad-tempered, or we can be kind of bullyish, we can be, hurtful, spiteful, whatever. And sometimes as well, people come in and out of our lives, and not all people have got our good intentions or our best interests at heart. Good, kind-hearted, loving, genuine people won't normally give you any grief or hassle. But there are other people too that come into your lives with kindness, with friendship, etc., etc., whilst holding a dagger. And we've all been there, right? We've all had people who've come into our lives and stabbed us in the back or whatever else, or who have gone against us, or who we put our trust in and who let us down. But and we can hold grudges when that happens, right? We can certainly hold grudges. We can feel bad, we can feel hurt, we can feel neglected. But do you know what? At the end of the day, it's always important, and I've said this many a time in a lot of my readings. There are some people that come into your life for a season. Some people come to your life for a reason and then disappear. Other people come into your life to stay. It doesn't really matter whether that person that comes into your life, stays or goes or disappears or whatever. That really truly doesn't matter. What matters is when you realize you've got your own tribe. Everyone has their own types, okay? We're not all supposed to get on together. We're not all supposed to blend into each other's melting pot, as it were. I've got a really good 5-word phrase that I use every time when I'm thinking anything negative or anything that's not positive, and it's simple. It's cancel, clear, delete all negativity, and then replace it with a positive. Always replace with a positive, and you can do that at any time, right? How many times have we got angry at our friends or our partners or family members or whatever the case may be, and we've, in the spur of a moment, we've said something or we've done something or whatever else to hurt them or whatever, and we think, well, can't take that back really. But what you can do is tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to cancel, clear, delete that negativity. I'm going to wish that person well, and I'm going to carry on. The job's a good one. You've turned what potentially could have been a negative and always staying a negative into a positive. Sometimes if we carry too much negativity, our chakras can get blocked and we can start feeling ill. We can really and truly start feeling as though we're just not coping. Alright? I'm one of these people that I would rather stay in a positive corner than be in a negative corner, and I always find that when I'm around negative people, I can quite easily go downhill. So I deliberately choose to be around upbeat, positive people. That's my tribe, that's my jam, as whatever you want to call it, right? But we all have our own little niches. And we shouldn't beat ourselves up if we don't fit into everybody's little box. We shouldn't beat ourselves up if we feel, do you know what, I like that person doesn't like me, or, that person doesn't like me even though I like that person. It's okay. Maybe it was meant to be that way. Maybe we weren't meant to be with that person. It's kind of like meeting somebody and you fall head over heels in love with somebody, but that person just shows no love or attention to you. right? And you know you would make that person the most perfect partner ever, but the other person shows no interest. It hurts, right? Because you can't get that person out of your mind, and you so want them to fall in love with you, you so want them to be a part of you, and they just can't. You know, the chemistry isn't there, or the bonding isn't there, or the personality isn't there, right? And hard as that may be, when you realize that, well, that wasn't meant to be. Because if it was meant to be, you would both feel the same. I remember when I first met my wonderful partner, it was within seconds we knew we were meant to be together. That was it. There was no turning back. And 7 years on, next year will be 8 years, we're stronger than ever. You know, and we've had people come into our lives trying to destroy us as a couple or whatever. It's never worked. It's never worked. We've got that strength, we've got that understanding, we've got that trust. There's nothing that we don't tell each other. There's nothing that we don't we don't keep secrets from each other. We don't hide any of our feelings. We tell each other every day how much that we love each other. And when you do that, you build that strong bond that is unbreakable. But sometimes we neglect to tell our loved ones how much we love them. And that can sometimes cause them to have feelings of they don't love me anymore, because they're not telling me that they love me every day. They're not telling me that they care or whatever. Now, that doesn't mean, because they haven't said it, doesn't mean to say that that person doesn't love you. That person may love you deeply. They just don't know how to show it, or they just don't think to say it. So if that is the case, maybe you yourselves could break the mold by simply saying, do you know what, today I really love you. And if you say it often enough, then if that other person truly, truly does love you, they will tell you back, yes, I love you too. Or it might just come naturally. This card can also indicate that you are giving your all to everyone, right? You're giving all your time, all your effort, all of your attention to help somebody else, but you neglect your own health, you neglect your own time. It's so important, if you're a carer or whatever else, that you give care to yourself as well as others. If you don't look after your own health, if you don't look after your own care, if you don't look after your own mindset, how can you expect to look after others' well-being? How can you expect to have the energy to be able to help others, right? You know, treat ourselves first before we treat others is the message, you know, or treat yourselves as you would like to treat others, okay? And also treat others like you would like to be treated yourself. It's so important. Yep, exactly. You know, sometimes you don't, you know, it's so easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to neglect yourself and not put to put everyone else, absolutely everyone else, before yourself. But self-care is so important. I bang on about that all the time, you know. I do my daily meditations, I do my Reiki, self-healing every day and every night. If I didn't, I wouldn't be able to do what I do on a day-to-day basis. And I also make sure when the time is needed that I take time off. Hence why I haven't been really doing lives for 2 or 3 days. It's been a busy family time. I've had some family issues that I've needed to deal with. And of course, yesterday, technology decided it wasn't going to work for the Switch, and the iPad just was not going to charge. It wasn't going to do anything, which was fine. It was kind of, the day after Samhain. The dead are still walking the earth, and energies are. Yep. That. Welcome to the world of empath. So, if you are an empath, that's so important to be aware of the energies around you, right? Because everyone has energies. Some energies are passive, some are kind of in your face, some are negative, some are good intentions, some are bad intentions. The world is a big melting pot of different personalities, etc., etc. And sometimes we have to then be careful. Okay, who am I going to spend my time around? I can walk into a room of positive people and I can stay there till the cows come home. Literally stay there, chatting away, being with them, etc., etc. At the same time, I can walk into a room of negative people and I just think I have to leave. I have to make my excuses and I just have to leave. Because it brings my own vibrations, my own energies down. And when that happens, I remember when I was going through 30 years of abuse. And sometimes I just had to grab my dog. At the time I had a little dog, and I just had to grab my dog and get away. Just put his lead on and get away from my ex, get away from my ex's family, who are all, if anyone knows anything about my ex, I literally had to just walk out the door and leave them, for my own sanity. And sometimes it was also for my own safety as well. And then I would have to be very, very careful when I returned, of course, because he didn't like me going away. Yep, we do. Yep. I always carry crystals either in my bag or we have a crystal in every room in the house. Crystals can bounce off energies, especially black tourmaline is good for bouncing energies off or getting rid of negative energies. And I also have my selenite. I like to burn my candles in selenite. I have selenite in most of the rooms in our home. It just dilutes all the negative energies around us. So when this card of the day comes into play, it's reminding us self-care. Okay, self-care is so important. Yes, it's admirable to look after others, it's admirable to care for others, but how can you care for others when you're not 1000% caring for yourself? And every time this card comes into play, it kind of reminds me myself. I used to feel guilty one time, at a time, with my previous company that I worked for. If they were short-staffed, I was always the one that says, yep, that's me, I'll cover the shift, I'll do that, whatever else. Because I saw it as a way, well, if I'm working, I'm away from the abuse. Right? If I'm working, I'm away from my ex. If I'm working, I'm away from my daughter. I'm away from all of that. However, my previous job was a carer and as full-time carer, and I was sometimes doing 24-hour shifts. And then after that shift, I would go home and look after an autistic son and an abusive partner or abusive husband. My health, year by year by year, went downhill. I was starting to get severe migraines every single day. even at work. Sometimes I couldn't even sleep for them. I don't take medication, so migraine medication was out of the question. Um, and when I went to, finally did go to GP, he said, what's happening with my body? And we talked about the abuse, etc., that I was going through. And he said, it's stress. You've got stress at work, you've got stress at home. There is no relief. And if you don't release that stress at some point, something's got to give. And it could be your health, or worse still, because it's affecting the brain, it's affecting your emotions or whatever else. Ultimately, you know, the brain could blow a fuse and you could lose your life. That was my wake-up call. That was my wake-up call, that, you know, I was going to leave that marriage. Didn't matter if I was going to leave in a wooden box or if I was going to leave by meeting somebody else. So I cast my spell. I knew that my soulmate was out there, and I cast my spell under a full moon. Now, little did I know, my soulmate, who I'm now with, also cast a spell for his soulmate as well, on the same moon at the same time. And we logged our spells. Spells normally last 2 years before they come into fruition. Any good witch worth her salt knows that if you cast a spell, don't expect it to work straight away. It takes time. It takes time to manifest. But that was time I was willing to wait for. And just as we sort of hit the 2-year mark, thanks to an old friend, I met my now current partner. And we've been together ever since. Yeah, definitely. It definitely can. So that was my wake-up call. The migraine headaches was my wake-up call, and I knew I had 2 ways of escaping the abuse. 1, through a wooden box, or 2, I knew my soulmate was out there somewhere, and I had to put everything that I had into my intentions to search for that soulmate. And at that time, my current partner was going through very similar, not so much abuse, but he was searching for his soulmate, and everyone in the past that he had tried to meet up with or whatever just didn't work out. However, when we met, we knew instantly. And that changed our whole life around. You know, yes, there's been many trials that we've had to come across, especially the first couple of years that I left my ex. Oh my goodness, my ex tried everything in the book. He told lies to all my friends, some of my family who he knew I didn't speak to, etc., etc., about me. And of course, we all know Chinese whispers, right? Somebody comes to you and they'll say, oh, did you hear about Lady Moonlight or whatever else? She was such a bad mom, she was such a bad wife, blah, 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 right? And then what happens? That person then goes and tells another person, and that person then goes and tells another person. But do you know what they failed to do? What each person failed to do was actually speak to the person that was getting spoken about first, to see if there was any grain of truth in it. I've had people come to me in my life and say, oh, don't speak to her, or don't speak to him. She's this, he's that, he's the next thing. It goes in one ear and it goes out the next. And I go and do the opposite. I will speak to that person. I will get to know that person. And almost guaranteed 9 out of 10 times what the previous person told me about that very person was actually made up. for whatever reason. And sometimes people can do that. In my ex's case, it was to try and take away friends, family, and also to try and split myself and my partner up. 7 years on, they have failed in their attempt to do that. And that's because every day we confide with each other. We've got a bond that is unbreakable. We have got a trust that is unbreakable. If my partner is feeling insecure, he will tell me. If I'm feeling insecure, I will tell him. We read each other so well, and as empaths and spiritual readers, we can read people as well as reading cards. So there would be no real point in me trying to deceive my partner or vice versa, because he could see right through that. He could literally see right through that. And we do the same with other people. I have had so many people come to me for photo readings, etc. And then I get a feedback from them, and they'll say, wow, how did you know that without actually knowing me as a person? Have you ever heard that the eyes are the mirrors to the soul? Right? If you look at somebody in the eye, you can tell them. You can tell whether that person is genuine, whether they are fake, whether they are positive, negative, whatever. It's a skill I've had since I was very, very young. And I'm a pretty dab-hand at it, and that's pretty much why and my partner's the very same. I'd never met anyone that had a very similar gift as what I have until I met my partner and found he could do the same. So again, soulmates, twin flames, whatever you want to call them, when you meet your soulmate and your twin flame, you just know. You just know it's right. But if you're going through emotions every day, if you're going through arguments with your loved ones every day, or your family, or your friends, or your relatives, or whatever else, and it's causing you upset, as in this card, then maybe it's time to question, are you in the right place? I knew instantly that in the 30 years I was with my ex, I was in the wrong place. In fact, the day of our marriage, the day of our wedding, I knew I was in the wrong place, just by the way he acted on our wedding day. But we don't always see it until it's too late, right? And we may think there's no way out. The older generation today, in today's world, if I was to say to my grandmother, oh, I'm going to divorce my ex because it's just not working out, their way of thinking was, well, you've made your bed, go lie in it, right? Marriage is a sacred vow, all this palaver, right? Basically, if you marry them, you're stuck with them for life. That's an old-fashioned thinking. That's an old-fashioned belief, right? We are all born with nothing. We come into this world with nothing. The only thing we have is free will, right? Never ever allow anyone to take that free will away from you. And if you feel that you're in the wrong place, use that free will to walk. Who was it that said, marriage is sacred, you can't, you've made your bed, better for worse, sickness and health, blah, 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 right? At what cost? At cost to your happiness? At cost to your life not going the way you want it to go. Mm-mm. That's not what we were born into this world for. We were born to be free, to be the person that we are, and to be with the people that appreciate us for who we are, or who love us for who we are. I love my partner unconditionally for the wonderful man that he is. He's intelligent, he's smart, he's empathic, he's very spot on. He's a great people leader. He's been doing it for all his life like me. And because I am very similar in a lot of ways to him, we just gel. We don't have to question each other's honesty. We're happy every day. You know, in the 8 years we've never fallen out. And, you know, almost 8 years. We've never fallen out. We've never had an argument. We've never, you know, kind of just felt really, really bad or had a bad day together or whatever else. Yes, we can be moody, right? That's the human part of us. We can be a little bit moody. But it's never led to a blown out argument. We've never had angry words. We've never gone to bed at night with an angry thought or an angry emotion or whatever. That's when you know you're with the right person. And it's the same with friendships as well. You just know if it's going to be a short-term friendship, a long-term friendship, passing by friendship, whatever. You know, because it's a true saying, right? People come into our lives for a season, a reason, to stay, or just passing through, right? That's the way of the world. And when we accept that, there's no point in us beating ourselves up about it. And being with the wrong person or the wrong people in your life will only lead to heartache, will only lead to problems and troubles. So if this card has meaning for you, or you have stumbled across this reading today, maybe this card is telling you something. Ask yourself, am I in the right place? Am I happy every single day in my life? Yes, we all have days where we're not so happy, but that's not, it could be things not related to the ones that we love. It could be we're not happy at work, we're not happy in the jobs that we do, we're not happy, you know, with a hobby, or, you know, with a holiday or whatever. There are other things that come into our lives. That doesn't mean to say we're not happy with the person that we're with. But if you are in a situation where you're unhappy with the person that you're with, there's only one person that can change that, and that's you. It took me 30 years to realise I could walk out the door anytime I wanted to. But you know what? I'm kind of glad I chose the time when I did, i.e. I waited for my soulmate. Because I know that without my soulmate, could I have survived leaving him? Probably not. Probably not. Because the first 2 years that we split were hell on earth, just because of the lies that my daughter, my ex and his family had woven the web of lies. And you know, my daughter had reported me on Facebook, got my Facebook account closed down 4 times before I eventually had to block my own daughter and make a complete new Facebook up. That's how nasty and evil these people are. And even kind of 7-8 years on, they still are doing that. But you know what? My block list grows and grows and grows. Because at the end of the day, if those people who are attacking myself and my partner haven't taken the time and the effort to get to know us and ask us if the things that are going around about us are true, then, you know, they have no right at the end of the day to judge you. And that is something I've always learned. You know, there's a lot of people coming into our lives and out of our lives that have pretty much tried to destroy us. But you know what? With every brick that was thrown, it just made us stronger. It just made us more determined that we've got a good thing. And there's no way we would let anyone, absolutely anyone, come between that. So if you haven't got that relationship, whether it's with a partner, whether it's with a sister, whether it's with a brother or friends or whatever else, then maybe it's time to let that go and surround yourself with people that you do have that connection with. Because trying to make something work that inevitably isn't going to work is only going to cause you pain, it's only going to cause you upset, and it's only going to cause you anxiety, etc. Hence why this card is all about other people around you causing you to be ill, causing you to be, not yourself. So I hope this card has meaning for you. I will be back tomorrow with yet another card of the day. Till then, thank you everyone for joining me. And I will be back tomorrow during the day sometime with my Avira posts. And I will also be back tomorrow evening, round about 9:30, for my monthly come along and pick a card. That will be from 9:30 till 11:30 tomorrow. And I will also be doing a card of the day tomorrow, but that will be earlier on in the daytime. Now I recognize that emoji anywhere. Hello, Melissa. Doo-doo-doo. I know that emoji anywhere. Okay. And congratulations, Melissa, on the future coming of the little baby. How exciting is that? And thank you so much for sharing your beautiful, beautiful baby scan with me. Healings to the mom and the baby to be, and huge congratulations to the grandma. Yay! Isn't you know, when we hear of, grandchildren being born, or children being born in general, it's just beautiful. Oh, what a beautiful name, Arlo. That's awesome. Oh, plenty vitamin C. You need to get some shields. I haven't, everyone around me has got colds and flus and everything just now, and I haven't, because I've been taking my shield. It's a great immunity. I believe in my shield every day. In fact, talking of my shield, that's all I've got left of today's shield. A little tiny bit of the bomb. But I do love my shield. It's got the vitamin C's and vitamin Z's, and it's got all the nutrients that is going to build your immune system up. Oh, that is beautiful. Do you know what? I like unusual names though. Whether it's from a film or whether it's, a made up name or whatever, it's beautiful just to have an unusual name. It really is. Anyway, I'm going to jump off for now. As I said, I will be back tomorrow during the day with another card of the day. I'll be back tomorrow evening between 9:30 UK time and 11:30 come along, join me right here in the Mystic Witch group. I will also be sharing my card of the day on the Mystic Witch on YouTube, which is my new YouTube channel. So if you haven't gone and subscribed to that channel, go pop along to YouTube, type in the Mystic Witch, and put a little like on there. Ring that bell and subscribe to it so that you can watch my cards of the day and other stuff that I'm going to be doing on there anytime you want. I'm going to be doing some karaoke songs on there as well, so it's going to be a mixture of lots of things on the Mystic Witch on YouTube. I also still have my Lady Moonlight channel. That's an older channel, but that's going to be more for my personal stuff, and the Mystic Witch is going to be more for spiritual and musical, that kind of thing. So thank you everyone, thank you for Melissa and Sophie and everyone for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of Tuesday evening everyone, and I will see you all soon. Lots of love and healing sent to you, Melissa. Oh bless. Oh bless. He's sending his love, and he's always with you. And you know what? Days of their passing and special days are hard, but they're always with us. They're never away from us. They're always beside us. They're always around us. Even though we don't sense them, even though we can't feel them all the time, they're definitely all around us. And when they do send healing, and Robbie is no exception to that. He's always sending healing. So yeah, and of course I will add you to my healing list as well, my daily healing list as well. So take care everyone, and I will speak to you all tomorrow. Lots of love and bright blessings from myself, Lady Moonlight. See you all tomorrow.